Hello my craft friends, this is Rbjewelz with STOHandmade Craft Spot. Today I'm going to show you how to make a very unique jelly roll that I created one day in my studio out of pure boredom. There are only so many clay canes that you can make and use by themselves, so I decided to take an ordinary jelly roll and add some twist to it and give it some flair and change the design up a lot and adding a lot more color to it in a very unique way. And I'm calling it the STO handmade fancy jelly roll. And I haven't seen anyone else do a jelly roll like this, and that's what I'm going to call it. And that's how I'm going to use it. So let's get started. To do this, you're going to need a stripe stack, which I had already pre-made and cut. As you can see, the little teeny sheets here that we're going to use. And then you're going to take one pack of clay cane. You're going to cut and reduce, and I'm going to show you another video how you actually reduce how you actually condition polymer clay cane. And then you want to take it down to the second setting on your pasta machine to prepare for this project. And these cane sheets here, I actually cut them and measure them to fit the stripe sheets. So based on the size of your stripe sheets from your stripe stack, once you cut it, each sheet, which should be about 1/16 of an inch or as thin as you can possibly get it. And the best way to do that is once you make the stripe stack is to let it sit for a second and let it reset and let all the molecules come back together. And then you can cut it much more easier and get thinner sheets. So to do this is going to be really simple. I'm going to take these little sheets off of my little glass tray that I often use to put all of my prepared pieces that I'm going to use in my studio when I'm creating pieces. Now, will we use all of these little sheets? We're going to find out, but more than likely not. But it's better to have more and not need them than to need them and you got to stop doing the work that you're doing and not have them. So, and they won't go to waste because you can always use them in other creative projects. Excuse me if my voice seems to be a little raspy. I'm like a little tired, but guess what? We're going to move forward with this project. So you want to lay this down, put these two pieces down. And pretty much all you're going to do is just lay your stripe stack sheets. Lay them vertical, side by side, matching it up black and white all the way down once you cut them. It's a relatively simple project, but it has so much surprise, so much pizzazz in taking something that was done in a traditional way and giving it a twist, and you can use it in a very unique new way in your polymer clay projects or designs. So I personally fell in love with it when I first tried it. You know, when you're experimenting and you're doing something that's like so totally new. Let's move this one. And by the way, these black and white stripe stack sheets that I'm using, I made it with a souffle Sculpey. Sculpey souffle clay. And as you can see, they come up pretty easy. If you lay them down, they come up pretty easy. Unlike other clays, it has much more of a satiny finish to it. And I like it because I like for a lot of my work to have like that satiny feel to it. So, and what you're going to do is take your other sheet and you're going to lay it across the top. You're not even going to worry about rolling the stripe stack sheets over. Once you lay it over, you're going to straighten it. You're going to stretch it out just a little bit, just to make sure that it lays down, because with the Sculpey Souffle, it will move, because it has more of a satiny texture to it, and it's much more powdery, almost like as if you had used some cornstarch on the pieces. So it will move in that fashion. But once you take your acrylic roller and you roll over it, it pretty much will stick to itself. So oftentimes you're going to see me flip my pieces over by me being left-handed. I work in a way that's a whole lot more convenient for me in doing this project. So you want to make sure that you clean up your edges. And again, I apologize for the raspiness in my voice, but I'm still going to get this video done. So what you want to do now is put all this aside. Move your scrap, put it aside. That's going to make for some interesting colors. As you can see now, you kind of got your stripe stack sandwiched in between these two colors. And what you want to do, you want to pinch it up a little on the end, so it'll be easy to go through the pasta machine. Now you can just use the #1 setting or use the #2 setting on your pasta machine, depending on how thin you want to get it, because it's going to stretch out really long. And we're going to roll it after we see which setting works best. I usually just use the #1 setting on my pasta machine, and then I move forward from there. So give me a minute, and I will put this through the pasta machine. So excuse me, it's going to be a little bit of noise. So as you can see, this is pretty long. It's going to be pretty long. Pretty long. And what you're going to do, you're going to take your tissue blade and you're just going to cut it a little bit, clean up the edge, and just put this in your little pile of scrap. And then you're going to take and you're going to pinch up your edge just a little bit, and then you're going to fold it over on itself, just as you would with a regular jelly roll. And you want to roll it gently and making sure that there's absolutely no air bubbles in this. And you're just going to continue to roll it. And they turn out really interesting and very pretty. You know, to use in your projects. And when I tried it, I was like, wow. I couldn't believe, you know, just sitting there playing around with clay, what actually could be done with it, you know. And that's the joy of just playing around with clay and experimenting with it. Whether you're a clay enthusiast or you're, you know, a non-polymer clay cane artist, or either you may be a professional clay caner, you know, such as myself. But the more you experiment, the more you play around with your designs, you can create more intricate, more complicated designs. And it starts out with simple pieces just like this, like we're creating here. And you can use just about any color to work on this piece. So what you're gonna do, you're gonna cut off this little, this little rounded edge here. Okay, and you're gonna roll it over on itself. And you're just gonna, kind of roll it back and forth. Just like that. Now, depending on the colors that you use, you will get a different effect. You will get something that's dramatic, may look a little spacey, might look like a 60s hippie type situation. It just depends. Depends on the look that you're going for. And you don't necessarily have to just use the black and white. You can use any color stripe stack that you want to create, and just make sure, that you have some colors to kind of complement it a little bit. So we're going to cut on one side of it. And we're going to reveal what this looks like. Look at that. Absolutely amazing, completely dreamy. It definitely gives an absolute different take on your ordinary jelly roll. So feel free to use it in your designs. All I ask is that you just mention my name and just give me credit for showing you this tutorial and how to use it. Other than that, have fun. Use it however you want to use it. Feel free to make whatever you want to make from it and sell it, because you're the artist. You took the time to learn this information from this tutorial. You used your materials and your products to create with it. So have fun with it, and we'll see you next time. Happy creating. Bye.